Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It has been a while. 2020 kind of happened. Today I want to talk about this little beauty, the Sony 30mm f3.5 macro lens for APS-C cameras. Now, I'm not going to be comparing this to the Sony 90mm or the Sigma 105. It's different build quality, it's different focal lengths, it's apples and oranges. With the exception of one of them being a Sony, the only thing they have in common is that they're one-to-one macro lenses. So, is this a lens you should be looking at? Let's find out. Now, I've had this lens for about a month and I've used it in pretty much every situation, from landscapes to streets and of course macro. Now, 30mm on an APS-C gives you 45mm on a full frame, which puts you in that really nice same sweet spot as the ever popular Nifty 50. Now, before we get into some images, let's talk specs. Now, I am not bothered about technical info. It either works for me or it doesn't, but I know there are those of you who are interested, so here we go. So it costs £229 in the UK from Sony, or around $300 US, and that's about a quarter of the price of the 90mm. It weighs in at a tiny 138 grams, or just under 5 ounces. It measures 62mm by 55mm, and that's about 2.5 inches by 2.25 inches. It has 7 elements in 6 groups, including 3 aspherical elements and ED glass. It has 7 circular aperture blades, giving some lovely looking rounded bokeh, and an aperture range of f3.5 to f22. Now, this lens has no switches or anything on it. It is not a stabilized lens. All it has is this focus by wire wheel on the front. And finally, it has a 49mm filter thread and a minimum focus distance of just 9.5 centimeters or 0.32 feet. Now, that's 9.5 centimeters from the sensor, which in reality means you can get your subject within about 2 centimeters of the front of the lens. Now, looking at this lens hood, it also has a 49mm filter thread on it, but I'm guessing the design of this thing is such that it allows you to get to within 2 centimeters, as opposed to a traditional lens hood which wouldn't. Now, being so close to your subject may pose some problems with you blocking out the available light. This is easily fixed by either checking the position of the light and recomposing, or introducing a macro ring light or something like a small LED panel to compensate. Okay, let's talk about that max f3.5 aperture. Now, this isn't a fast lens, and at this price I wouldn't expect it to be. But from my use, I have found that because you are so close to your subject, f3.5, the focal plane is wafer thin, and you need to stop down anyway. So it's not that much of a problem. Right, let's get into the images. Now, every one of these images was shot with my a6000 with this macro lens, and if you're interested to know what the video looks like, you're watching it. So take from that what you will. Right, here we go. So there it is, the Sony 30mm f3.5 macro lens. I was really surprised by this lens. I have never used a wide angle macro before. I had always used the Sigma 105 with my Nikon cameras. So having a walk around focal length with macro capability, I thought, well, that was really cool. So let me know what you think. If it's something that you're into, is it something that's been on your radar? Let me know in the comments below. And thank you for watching. If you watched till the end, I appreciate you. If you liked this, give that like button a slap. If you didn't like it, please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I am going to get some tea now. Bye. the only thing they have in common is that they're macro. This isn't a fast lens, and I wouldn't expect to be at this price. I wouldn't expect it to be, but from my use. So having a macro lens with